In a galaxy far, far away, two opposing forces, light and dark, have shaped the very nature of existence. The Jedi, upholding peace and justice, represent the light, while the Sith, masters of the dark side of the Force, seek control, power, and domination. The Sith Lords, some of the most notorious and powerful figures in galactic history, have spent millennia battling for supremacy, each leaving an indelible mark on the galaxy's fate. But the Sith are more than just villains. They are visionaries who saw the potential of the Force in ways the Jedi could not, using it not just as a tool for peace, but as an instrument of power and control. Through their cunning, ambition, and ruthless pursuit of dominance, the Sith Lords have often been the true masters of the galaxy, playing the long game while the Jedi fought to preserve the fragile peace. It's not just about strength, it's about the mind, the will, and the vision. In today's video, we explore the full history of the Sith Lords, from the ancient rulers of the Sith Empire to the more recent figures of the Galactic Empire. From Darth Bane to Darth Vader, each of these dark figures had a unique path to power, leaving behind a legacy of tragedy, ambition, and destruction. Welcome to Star Wars Everything, where we explore the dark side of the Force. Join us as we delve into the lives of the Sith Lords, the most feared and revered individuals to ever walk the galaxy. Part 1. The Ancient Sith Lords. The history of the Sith goes far beyond the rise of the Galactic Empire and the Clone Wars. Long before the Republic existed, long before the Jedi established their order, there were the Ancient Sith. These Sith Lords were not only dark side users, they were the rulers of an entire empire built on conquest, domination, and the mastery of the dark side of the Force. Their legacy was one of brutality and ambition, and it would come to shape the galaxy's fate in ways that no one could predict. Number 1. Darth Bane. Darth Bane is a name that echoes throughout the history of the Sith Order. Born in a harsh, unforgiving environment, Bane fought his way to power through sheer determination. His rise wasn't just through strength, though. It was his vision of what the Sith could become that truly set him apart. At the time, the Sith were numerous and fragmented, constantly fighting amongst themselves, which ultimately led to their downfall. But Bane saw the solution. He understood that for the Sith to ever become a true threat to the galaxy, they had to be unified. But unity could only come from a singular purpose and focused power. So, Bane introduced the rule of two. Only two Sith could exist at any one time, one master and one apprentice. This would prevent infighting and ensure that each Sith would grow stronger, feeding off the other's power.
I was a survivor, and so are the Sith. We will not fail again. The rule of two will make us stronger. One to embody power, one to crave it. Only then can the Sith grow. The genius of the rule of two lay in its simplicity. It ensured that the Sith would remain focused, driven by their own ambition to grow more powerful, while also maintaining an unbroken line of teachings. Darth Bane's philosophy would eventually guide the Sith for thousands of years, right into the hands of Darth Sidious. Bane's life was a solitary one. He sacrificed much to bring this philosophy to life. His legacy would remain in the form of the Sith Lords who followed, all bound by the rule of two, but it came with a cost. Darth Bane's power was undeniably great, but his vision was shaped by tragedy. He lost everything in the pursuit of his goal, including his humanity. Number 2. Darth Revan. Next, we look at the rise of Darth Revan, one of the most intriguing and tragic figures in Sith history. Born a Jedi Knight, Revan was a hero of the Republic, known for his strength in battle and wisdom beyond his years. But Revan's hunger for knowledge and his desire to understand the Force beyond the Jedi teachings led him down a dark and dangerous path. Revan's journey to the dark side wasn't just a simple fall, it was a gradual transition. When the Mandalorian Wars broke out, Revan saw an opportunity to end the war once and for all, by seeking power in the dark side. It was in the midst of this war that Revan became a Sith Lord. But what made him unique among the Sith Lords was that he never fully embraced the traditional Sith mentality. He was never blinded by pure hatred. He saw the Sith as a means to an end, and his desire to conquer the galaxy was ultimately driven by a belief that he could bring order to the chaos. The Force is not about light or dark. It is a tool, and it will be used to achieve balance in the galaxy. I will not stand idly by while the Republic crumbles. Revan's time as a Sith Lord was marked by his ruthlessness and his desire for power. But Revan was never just a puppet of the dark side. He was an enigma, constantly questioning his own path and exploring the true nature of the Force. His fall and eventual redemption are not simply about the shift from light to dark, but rather about understanding the duality that exists within every individual. It is this internal conflict that makes Revan such a fascinating character. His redemption was hard-earned, but it was genuine. He chose to return to the light, an act that few Sith Lords ever attempted. Yet, even after his redemption, Revan's actions as a Sith haunted him. He couldn't escape the legacy of his past, and his story would resonate throughout the galaxy for generations to come. Revan's legacy, marked by his brilliance, his fall, and his return, set the tone for future Sith Lords who would rise to power. Part 2, the Sith Empire and Beyond. As the centuries passed, the Sith Empire rose and fell, and many more Sith Lords followed. While the Sith were largely wiped out after the rise of the Galactic Republic, there were still those who sought power through the dark side. These Sith Lords operated in the shadows, manipulating events and battling for control of the galaxy. Some were motivated by pure desire for power, while others sought a deeper connection with the dark side, just as Revan did. Number 3. Darth Nihilus. Darth Nihilus is one of the most terrifying figures in Sith history. Known as the Lord of Hunger, Nihilus wasn't merely a Sith Lord, he was an embodiment of pure destruction. His power came from the Force itself, and he was able to consume entire planets, draining the life force of millions to feed his insatiable hunger. Nihilus's power was unmatched. He could drain the life energy from entire populations, rendering entire worlds uninhabitable. But this hunger, while powerful, also became his weakness. Nihilus was not a typical Sith Lord. His existence was entirely driven by the dark side's desire to consume. He was a black hole of destruction, and in the end, it was that hunger that would lead to his downfall. I do not live, I devour. The galaxy will feel my hunger. The Force is mine to consume. Nihilus's story is tragic, not because of the destruction he wrought, but because of what he became. He lost all sense of humanity, reduced to nothing more than a vessel of the dark side. His ultimate defeat was brought about by those who sought to stop him, but it was also a reminder that the power of the dark side is often not the greatest weapon. It is the soul, the will of the individual, that defines a Sith. Number 4. Darth Malak. Darth Malak's story is one of betrayal and ambition. Once a loyal apprentice to Revan, Malak sought to take the mantle of Sith Lord after his master's fall. His rise to power was swift, but it was driven by an unyielding desire for control and domination. Unlike Revan, who sought to understand the Force, Malak was consumed by his ambition. His time as a Sith Lord was marked by ruthlessness, and he led the Sith in a campaign to destroy the Republic. His battles with the Jedi were brutal, and he was willing to do anything to achieve his vision of a Sith-ruled galaxy. I am the master now. I will not fail where Revan did. The galaxy will fall to my might. But in the end, Malak's downfall was inevitable. His betrayal of Revan and his blind ambition led to his ultimate defeat. His lust for power consumed him, and he became a cautionary tale for all who seek to dominate through fear and force. Malak's ambition and his inability to see the bigger picture were his undoing, proving that power can be both a gift and a curse. Part 3. The Galactic Empire's Sith Lords. The Sith Lords of the Galactic Empire were not just warriors. They were politicians, manipulators, and puppeteers, working from the shadows to control the fate of the galaxy. These Sith Lords understood the game of power in a way that their predecessors never did. They weren't just interested in wielding the dark side for personal gain, they wanted to reshape the entire galaxy according to their will. Number 5. Darth Sidious. Darth Sidious, also known as Emperor Palpatine, is arguably the most iconic Sith Lord to ever walk the galaxy. Sidious wasn't merely a Sith. He was a master of the dark side's most insidious power, manipulation. His rise to power was the result of years of planning, deception, and patience. He didn't just want to destroy the Jedi or the Republic, he wanted to shape the galaxy in his own image, and he knew that to do so, he had to play a long, long game. Sidious spent decades working from the shadows, carefully manipulating the political system, creating the Clone Wars, and slowly but surely pushing the galaxy towards the brink of collapse. He understood that true power came not from sheer strength, but from control, from understanding the weaknesses of others and exploiting them. The Republic is dead. The Jedi will fall. The Sith will rule the galaxy, and I will lead them to victory. Sidious's rise to power was unlike any Sith Lord before him. He didn't just defeat his enemies, he subjugated them, using fear, politics, and sheer cunning. He played both sides of the Clone Wars, ensuring that both the Republic and the Separatists were weakened. By the time he declared himself emperor, the galaxy was already his to command. But Sidious's greatest flaw was his hubris. He believed that no one, not even his own apprentice, could ever challenge him. Yet, he underestimated the loyalty of his own apprentice to his son, Luke Skywalker. In the end, it was Sidious's arrogance that led to his fall, proving that no Sith Lord, no matter how powerful, is invincible. Number 6. Darth Vader. Darth Vader, once Anakin Skywalker, was the most tragic of all the Sith Lords. His story is not one of power, but of loss, fear, and redemption. Anakin Skywalker was once the prophesied chosen one, destined to bring balance to the Force. But his fear of loss, his desperation to save those he loved, led him down a path from which he could not return.
I am the Father, Luke.
The Emperor has poisoned your mind. Together, we can defeat him.
Vader's story is a tragic one. He became the Emperor's enforcer, hunting down the Jedi and serving as the very symbol of Sith rule. But beneath the mask and the armor, Anakin Skywalker still existed, lost, broken, and torn by guilt. In the end, it was love for his son, Luke Skywalker, that brought him back from the darkness. Vader sacrificed himself to destroy the Emperor and save Luke, proving that even the darkest Sith Lord could find redemption. His fall, his rise, and his ultimate sacrifice are a reminder that even those who seem lost to the dark side can return to the light. Conclusion. The Sith Lords are a reflection of the dark side, ambitious, powerful, and destructive. But their stories are not just about power. They are about flaws, about the dangers of unchecked ambition, the consequences of pursuing control at any cost, and the inevitable downfall that comes with it. Each Sith Lord we've discussed, from Bane to Vader, had a unique path, but they all shared one thing in common. They believed that power was the ultimate goal. Yet none of them were immune to the very thing that gave them their power, the darkness. The Sith may have risen again and again, but they were always defeated, not just by the Jedi, but by their own arrogance and flaws. The galaxy remains ever in flux, caught between the light and the dark. But as long as the Sith exist, the Jedi will rise again to meet them, and the battle between the dark and the light will never truly end. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the galaxy's most notorious Sith Lords. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Stay tuned for more deep dives into the Star Wars universe. And as always, may the Force be with you.